Well, welcome back to Base Camp, WNC. We're in the fine state of Tennessee, the patron state of shooting things. And we're here, we put this rainwater catchment system in. This is the one I told you after the pump stand build, this is where it was heading. It's actually sitting in the bottom of this tank right here. But these people here are catching rainwater off of here. They can also buy water. Limits in the water and wells are in limited ability around here. So they got 2,500 gallons, because 2,500 gallons is what comes on the truck at one time. So they can buy a whole tank load at one whole time. But I'll show you on the build, but I mean, we've just attached to the rain gutters. It comes down, it goes through a first flush system that I'll show you the build on, comes down, and we have it going into this far tank, and that's acting as a settling tank. And then there's a white line right here, that's a 2-inch pipe that connects the bottom of this tank, and that just settles at levels the water as it comes up. We're trying to keep all the sediment and stuff over in this tank, and this tank be as clean as it possibly can be. But I want to take you along on the build and show you some stuff we did. We're always learning. And as usual, you see something, make a comment. Tell me if I did good, if I did bad, if you think there's something that can be improved on. Let's take you along for the build. Well, we got the machine coming, and we're going to dig out from the building. We're going to come out here about 11 foot to that mark, down to the other stake and over. We're going to dig down about 14, 16 inches, set both tanks here in a line going alongside the ditch. And there sits the tank, or the pump down in the tank. We had 1,000 gallons of water delivered just to hold the tank down. And so there's only 500 gallons in each. But you can see how the pump comes up, goes through the union right there. This wire goes in, it's connected in that electric box. So if you ever have to pull the pump, you don't have to drain the tank. You just disconnect the wire, grab the ropes right here, and pull the pump back up out of the tank. It's as easy as it is. What I'm going to show you now, this is the pipe. And as usual, we got the pump inside, comes up to a clamp right there with the union, goes back down and comes in. And we do that so you can pull the ropes and get the tank out. But if you ever have to pull the pump, you don't have to drain the tank. You undo the union and pull it up through the access hole. But this is where the pipe leaves the pump and goes into the system. And I'm going to show you how we insulated that. Now that started out down here with a heat tape and went all the way up. We drew a great big hole through it. And this is the one that's going to be coming out and going down and heading to the house. So over here, that one I did in place. This one I'm going to do out here. And I made a little black mark. That's where I got to start the foam and all. But there's the 1-inch pipe. There's 1-inch foam that goes over it. 2-inch foam that goes over that. And then this pipe slides into it. So here it is. We have the 1-inch foam wrap, the 3-inch foam wrap over it. And then we can slide. It's a corrugated piece of pipe, but it's solid. It don't have any holes in it. So then we can tuck part of the heat tape down here. But this is how we're insulating it from the building into the ground. And of course, it'll be buried in the dirt anyhow, but this is how we're trying to insulate it. Being when they put the building up, they provided no access through the concrete and out the side. So this is how we're going to have to do it. Well, here it is. We're all but done. Get out here in the morning, start touching up all the spots right there. I taped off the ends of the pipe so they didn't get painted black, so they didn't have to sand it down to glue them. This right here is the first flush, and I'll get out here tomorrow and unscrew the cap. The bottle's in it that floats it up. Like I said, the first bunch of water comes off the roof, comes in the rain gutter, comes down, flows down in this pipe. The float goes up into that reducer, shuts it off right there, and then all the water continues down and runs into the tank. But this is the line coming in and going out, and a valve. One last view of this thing before I wrap it with this foam wrap. This, of course, is the pipe coming in from the tank. And if you can kind of see it right there, there's a heat tape that goes out, goes down the pipe all the way to the valve at the tank, comes up, goes all around this whole system, goes up, it'll come up across, go back down and go to the pipe going underground. But like I said, it comes in, comes through the pressure tank. We got the switch and the blow off valve and everything there. It goes over. First thing it comes into is a spin down filter where you can open that valve. All the first initial sediment and dirt gets trapped on the outside of that screen. You can put a bucket underneath of it, blow that out. Then it goes through a 10 and a 20 micron filter, comes up, goes through the UV light, goes down through their little flow indicator for their light for their light bulb, goes out and goes into the house. That's all this system comprises of. Well, here I am. Now I'm wrapping these pipes and the heat tape up, and what I'm using, that is the foam insulation that in a wood house construction would go between the concrete floor and the wood plate, or even this building right here, and it stops drafts from coming in. The reason I like it, it's just foam. It absorbs no moisture. So it doesn't matter if it gets wet, it'll dry out. If you use that pink insulation with the tinfoil on the back, condensation from the pipes, because it's well water or spring water hitting the air, it gets wet. When the insulation gets wet from that condensation, there's no insulation value at all. But this stuff's fairly inexpensive. It's like $7 for a whole roll, and it doesn't absorb moisture. The other thing, I've had comments, and don't know if anybody was gonna pick it up, most of the time the filters are the other way. I put them up in the air because the water's coming in going here. Now, these people don't live here all the time, so they'll put a bucket under here, open that valve, and it'll drain the water down out of all the canisters. If you look at them right now, they're empty. And that way, when they're gone, they don't freeze and break, and you don't have to worry about draining everything all the time. So when they open that valve, it will drain the spin down, both micron filters, and the UV light. Everything all this way drains this way. When they open the house and the valve outside, it drains all the water from here down into the ground when they're not here, and they don't have to worry about it freezing. And if the electric goes out, it still doesn't freeze if the heat tape is shut off. Well, this is going to end this video. If you ever need any ideas, help, planning like this, if this is something you may need or some fraction thereof, don't hesitate to contact me. The email's right here at the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, like it, share it, subscribe, tell your friends about it, leave me a comment. I got to get back into making videos. I know they're getting rough. I haven't edited them for a while, so got to bear with me. I've got about 8 or 10 of them on the phone to publish, so look forward to letting you see my work.